Hello everyone, Nick here. Hope you're all doing well today. I am back with another review of a Deadtime storybook. We are almost to the end. This is the second to last book, Night of the Pet Zombies. Very interesting cover here. We see the dog Rex and the cat Tabby emerging from the tombstones. Looks like there's another maybe dog skeleton there rising up in the background. Really cool graveyard scene there with the pets coming out. Quite like the red glowing eyes and the scary fangs that they have and the claws of Rex. Very fun cover. It's a bit goofy, the expression on their face. And I do like there's the moon here in the background and some red sky to make it more ominous. Nice cemetery gate with the spike fence. Very cool. Nice orange and yellow cover. So another great work by Brooke Stadman. Going into the book, I thought that it was paced decently enough. We have our two main characters, David and Eddie. They are similar to the two main characters from the Deadtime storybook, The Little Magic Shop of Horrors. Sort of these two mischievous boys who have a science project coming up due. They were supposed to grow these plants, but unfortunately the plants are not looking very grown, not even sprouting. So, and of course they're worried now because they're going to have to take summer school, which honestly they deserve it. But as they're watching TV, they're watching the Monster Channel, and it has no commercials, by the way. But all of a sudden, there is this commercial that comes up with this kind of creepy looking guy, and he talks about this miracle life growth stuff, kind of like a for plant mulch, so to speak, that you can put it on plants and they come to life like they weren't even dead. And it's like this creepy salesman guys talking to them through the TV, like, yeah, it would be great, agreeing with them as they respond too. So, which I like that. I thought that was a fun thing in the book, the mysterious commercial broadcast. And so he gives them the address, which is downtown, wherever they live. And it's a more sketchy part of town, but they're going to risk it to go and get this miracle life stuff. Here soon, the next day, they lied to David's mother, because Eddie's staying with David in this setting, and they're going to go to like the hardware store to get something, but not this plant shop downtown. So they get there in the shop, and all the plants in the shop are just dead and decrepit. And here comes this fella who looks like he is a walking, talking zombie himself that they saw from the TV commercial, Frederick von Mortmeister. And of course, he shows them the miracle life, describe it as vomit, and it smells like vomit. This Mortmeister guy, like he like rubs his head and like some of his skin comes off, and like at one point his fingernail falls off, and I think Eddie's the one that says, David, I could have swore that moved. He gives them the miracle life, nothing sketchy, suspicious about that, for a fantastic price. And they take it back to David's house and they try it on the plants. And sure enough, the plants become huge, pretty much too big. And they have like this disgusting scent that their David mother and them discover in their room. They worked a little too well. And so at some point, the boys have the miracle life and they accidentally drop it outside in David's backyard. And thus we get the sort of like the theme of the story where we have the first pet come to life, which is the cat Tabby. And David's like, that's my cat Tabby. It should be dead. And Eddie's like, no, it's not. It's not your dead cat. There's no way it can come to life. And so they have this theory that, okay, we're going to take this to the pet cemetery where all my other pets are buried, and we're going to see if it really brings them to life, because David would love to see his pets again. And of course, Eddie doesn't think this is a good idea, and of course it's not, as we'll get into. But I do want to mention that David has a sister. Her name is Charlotte, but they call her Charlie. And she's sort of a teen, goth, angsty teen. And she had this parrot named Hitch that unfortunately has passed. She's like teasing the boys in the beginning, giving them a hard time. When they go and they actually spill too much of the miracle life and bring all the pets back, Hitch comes back to life. And Hitch, being a parrot, can speak. And so he torments them throughout the rest of the book, saying that they're, dead meat, and that he's going to bring more of the dead to life, and everyone will be dead, kind of thing. Um, but some of the other pets include a turtle, a boa constrictor. It's actually a little snake, and then it just continues to grow because of the miracle life, and even wraps up Charlie at one point. I believe its name was Derzowitz. There's also a pet tarantula that bites them at some point, and of course we do have the dog, like on the cover, Rex, who was the previous owner of the houses long ago, this big scary zombie dog. And so they realize, okay, we have a problem on our hands. These zombie pets, of course, wanting to turn everyone into the undead. So they go to the taxidermist downtown, and he's in there and he's working on a baboon that has passed. And he has this stuff called Preserve X, and he's like, this isn't for y'all to play with. This isn't something I can sell you, kind of thing. You kids need to get out. You're asking these weird questions. So anyway, after some time, the final showdown, because they're going to go in and get this Preserve X from the shop at night to use on Hitch and the other pets. The other pets are waiting on them there, where they're dodging the various pets and Hitch, and they get this Preserve X and they start spraying them, thus defeating them. And at the end of the book, after all the pets have been put back in the grave, so to speak, they're leaving, and the miracle life that they have left, they accidentally like drop it around like the store, and then they meet von Mortmeister outside. And it turns out that when they went back to Mortmeister's store earlier to find some answers and potentially how to stop these undead pets, they had found out that he had actually passed away, according to the funeral home director close by, which was very eerie. And so we do get the confirmation there that he is an actual zombie. They meet him there on the street, and of course they're horrified because he's a zombie. He just kind of laughs and chuckles at them and saying that the whole town dead will be raised now because the boys dropped the miracle life. And so that's how the book ends, with pretty much more of the dead going to rise from the city, or with Frederick von Mortmeister laughing at them. So, how do I feel about this book? I think, again, all these books, they're very decent. There's nothing that I can say love. I guess I kind of like the part where Mortmeister was talking to them supernaturally through the television. I liked a lot of the action in it, where the different pets sort of face them and challenge them. And of course, I thought the bird Hitch was very creepy. Some of the things that he said, and they even confronted Hitch about Charlie, who was his owner and that he loved, and he said, "Oh, sweet Charlie." Um, but soon, she'll be squeezed to death, and that's how they knew that Charlie was going to get restricted by Derzowitz the snake. So he had no compassion for her, and of course he was following through with his diabolical plan to make everyone undead. So, and I think just his laughing at them, and that's just a very scary scene. probably the scariest character in any of the books, personally, that has kind of given me some of the heebie-jeebies. So that was very good. But, just I think a solid 7. If you have read this book, what did you think about it? And thank you for tuning in, and I will see you in the next and final review of the Deadtime Storybooks. Thanks.